Hey everyone, my name's Brad. Welcome back to Investing Doc. For those of y'all that are new, I own my own private practice and like to vlog about what it's like to own your own practice. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about Medicare and the cuts they recently announced. There's a lot of people who told me a lot of things when I decided to open up my own practice, and a lot of those things ended up not being true. However, one of them was basically Medicare and or insurance payers will continue over time to not pay you adjusted to inflation, and that it's just going to continue to get worse and worse. We've struck some wins along the way, like Cigna, for example, gave us an over 20% pay raise, which was really nice, but that was because I had to argue with them to get us a better rate, otherwise I was going to drop them. Well, Medicare recently announced that we're going to get over a 3% pay cut. Now, they're arguing that people like me in primary care, that we're going to be able to use this new G code that is going to allow us to actually get a pay raise because it's going to compensate us for all the work that we were doing behind the scenes, signing maybe handicap placards or FMLA forms or whatever. And we'll see about that. I'm a little bit skeptical when there's a new code that gives new opportunities for denials. I don't know. I won't believe it until a check is in my account, basically. But I think what's really sad here is that if you dig into the data for this, is that the hospitals actually were going to only get a 2%-ish pay raise. And last minute, they lobbied and they got over a 3% pay raise because they were able to spend more money to lobby to get the people in power to actually pay them more. And I think this is the part that frustrates me. I think whenever I started this vlog, I felt like there was no one else making videos like this. There was no one else that was transparent without being like, oh, pay me $50,000 and I'll help you start up your practice. No, I didn't want to do that. And the part that really pisses me off is that we only have a few organizations, but they seem to be focused on MOC, the maintenance of certification. They seem to be focused more on issues that don't matter to the average physician when our pay is definitely seeing huge cuts year over year. And I know that a lot of people say, oh, poor you, because you're a physician, you're making more than the average individuals. Yeah, and they're entitled to feel whatever way they want to feel. I'm not going to tell them how to feel. But at the same time, I feel like I gave up a good part of my youth. I put a ton of hours and dedication into this. And for every visit that I see, I can get sued for millions of dollars just for giving someone an ear infection antibiotic. That, you know what, with that kind of liability on the line, I think that a reasonable compensation is not unreasonable. And the part that really, really pisses me off is that we have to have this zero net balancing, meaning that if primary care, supposedly with this new code, gets a pay raise, that everyone else is supposed to get a pay cut, an over 3% pay cut this year. Every physician's losing. Now I got to have my billers argue for this new code that hopefully is going to pay. Who knows if they're actually going to pay it. And then these other physicians are getting screwed with a pay cut. That's not fair to anyone. And then it's still unclear to me because Medicare only pays G codes usually. Is non-Medicare going to pay for the G codes? For example, what about my 50-year-old who's not Medicare, who has a ton of health issues, who I spend a lot of extra time on? Is that G code going to apply? I don't know. I still got to dig into that. All I know is that I feel personally like the American Medical Association, the ABIM, which is my board, I feel like all they care about is my money, and I keep getting advertisements to buy a new Mercedes or for them to sell me stuff when all I care about is, why aren't you lobbying to basically allow us to continue to keep up with inflation? We're not even keeping up with inflation here. And I think that when you look at what the government is saying, that there was 5% inflation year over year, that's a joke. You can't go out anywhere and you can't buy anything. You can't hire an employee for 5% inflation. We have probably a 20 to 25% inflation on our employees. We start now at about $21 an hour for any employee that we hire. Pre-pandemic, we started at $15 an hour. That was our starting pay. All right, so what's my plan to deal with it? Well, there's a lot of hybrid models that do DPC and pay things on top of the regular services. And we are entertaining going down that road. But that really needs to be very well defined because, one, we can get in trouble with insurance companies. Two, we definitely don't want to do anything that's against Medicare. And three, we really want to make sure that we have what we're planning on doing spelled out very well with boundaries that are very clear, because patients may end up signing up for that and then trying to take advantage of it. So how are we planning on continuing to go forward? It's all about being lean. So we're outsourcing what we can overseas. We're outsourcing what we can to smaller towns. We're not hiring in the big city that I'm at because wages are a lot higher. We're trying to double up and have our employees that are making better salaries take on more tasks to get compensated for those higher salaries. And we're just trying to be leaner overall. So far it's working. Our pay and our gross profit seems to be up. But we'll see how that goes over time. I think that with this 3.4 or so percent pay cut, that's really, really unfortunate. And I think that you're going to see a lot of the older docs that can retire just say, screw it, I'm out of here. How do I plan on moving forward? Well, like I said, I'm going to be more efficient, more lean with my own practice. I'm going to try to get bigger so we can argue for better insurance rates. And then I'm going to still keep pushing the AMA and the ABIM, even though they don't care about little old me. I'm going to continue telling them and speaking up to hear my voice to say, hey, you guys are screwing me over. And until y'all support this and our fellow physicians, I'm not going to significantly financially support you guys. Y'all are just wasting time. Hope you guys have a good day. I'll let you guys know how things go with this new G code. Hope y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all again soon. Till next time.